Well, folks, it is Christmas Day, so what better time to talk about the fact that we all hate each other, right? The left hates the right, part of the right hates the other part of the right, part of the left hates the other part of the left. Everybody is just fighting right now and at each other's throats. But the infighting between the two parties is what is really important to focus on right now. The left is always going to fight the right. That's the point of it. Right now, you have Democrats who are still arguing over policy, procedure, the best path forward, things that are actually constructive. Okay, that's a good fight to have. Republicans are fighting over whether or not they should overthrow the federal government. That's a stupid fight among stupid people. But all of these fights, regardless of what they're about, there's a reason they're all happening. And that is because we have a two-party system here in the United States that does not actually represent people. I mean, that's the bottom line. That's what's at the heart of all of this. The two-party system sucks. You know, I'm a registered Democrat, and I have been since the day I turned 18. The Democratic Party does not represent me, but it represents me more than the Republican Party. The only reason I'm staying registered Democrat is because I live in a state with a closed primary. So if I register as anything else, I don't get to vote in the primary. I have no say in who that nominee is going to be, and I don't like that. I want to have a say. So, what do we need? How do we solve the fighting? We have more viable parties. The Green Party has some great ideas, but they got, 500,000 votes in the 2020 election? Like nationwide? One of the worst performances the Green Party has ever had, ever. I actually got attacked and lost so many followers on Twitter because before the election, I talked about the fact that the Green Party doesn't even take itself seriously anymore. People said, oh, you're wrong. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and look what happened. I was right. But they have great ideas. They need to be better. They need to be included at the table. Republican Party, I disagree with everything they stand for. But you have moderates, you have mediums, and you have extremists. They all don't fit in together. And for some reason, they let the extremists call the shots. Over here on the left, the people on the far left, people like myself, the people that want real radical change, Medicare for all, debt-free college, Green New Deal, we get left out of the conversation. They don't have a seat in Biden's administration at all. Republicans might, and they hate him. So here's the thing. We have to start supporting third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth parties here in the United States. But you're not going to immediately be able to do that at the federal level, okay? Or at least not the presidential level. You could absolutely do it at a state level. You know, get your party getting support in state legislatures. You could likely pull off a couple of seats in the actual U.S. House of Representatives. But until we have a system that actually welcomes these people in, they're always going to continue to be shut out. And that's what has to change. There has to be open debates that include every single person running. And that's the key. See, we had more than 2 presidential candidates on the ballot this year. But if you watch the presidential debates, we only had 2 people there. I mean, hell, it hasn't been since Ross Perot that we welcomed that third person on the stage. And what happened? He got a huge share of the votes because people are suddenly hearing something that's not left, it's not right. They're not quite sure what it is, but they're hearing different voices. Voices that might represent them better than just the Democrats or just the Republicans. And that's what we need. We need to at least hear these voices. We need to pay attention. We need to stop trying to cram everybody into a one-size-fits-all party. It doesn't work. We're one of the few countries on the planet that actually does that. There's a reason everybody else moved on from it. Or never went there in the first place. Because it simply doesn't work. You do not end up with a representative democracy if people have to fall into column A or column B and that's it. That's not enough options. And we need something better here in the United States.